I'm going to give you an update on where I'm at in the world, what's going on, why I haven't been on YouTube, what is going on overseas with the Russian invasion. I wonder if I can even say the R word. I wonder if YouTube's censoring. Might give an update on the beer flu and all kinds of different topics. So we're going to wait for about 1 minute for people to join. Then we're going to jump into it, and I'm going to hit this stuff hard and fast. So I'm sure it's going to be super interesting for a lot of y'all. So if you're watching this after the fact, I'm going to get started in about a minute. We've got Villain on here, Stacker. We've got the Stacking Kid. We got Joshua Chambers. We've got Mr. Popzilla. We got David Carlisle. We got Nose Maddox. We got all kinds of people coming on. Who else is going to be next? Oh, we've got Big Red Bullion. Big Red, your video's coming soon. I just need to edit it. We got Jimmy. We got Austin Coins. We got Gunners. We got Rafi. We got Sticks and Stones. We got 3 Nines. Oh, what's up, 3 Nines? We got everybody. We got Johnny B. We've got all kinds of people. We got Cheryl up in here. Mad Hatter. We got Carl. We got Rod Stewart. Oh, man. Okay. So let me first give you my quick update. Then we're going to jump over to the computer, and I'm going to tell you what's going on in Russia and the Ukraine right now. Please, please, please smash that like button if you like these types of videos. And you want to see more, that helps me out. So here's my room. You know they did your boy IS decent. We got us a suite over here. And yes, I am in Kentucky. I'm currently in the capital of Kentucky. Oh, Rod, what's up? I'm in the capital of Kentucky. No, not Lexington. It's Frankfort. So I'm currently in Frankfort, Kentucky. I'm going to be here for the next week, and then I'm going to be over in Western Kentucky after that. So if you're in the area, let me know. And again, smash that like button as you're all joining. Let me know if you're in the area, and we will meet up. As long as you're not a Russian spy. No, I'm kidding. All right, so that's my update on where I'm at. Why have I not been on YouTube in like the past, 12 days? Because of what I'm doing. You guys all know I work in emergency management. I work in disaster type stuff. So I'm here helping with the tornadoes they had back in December now. So I've been extremely busy with that, but things are finally calming down. So I'm going to have a bunch of content lined up to hit you all with a bunch of videos this next week. And I got something special in the mail from a guy who's in here right now, Big Red Bullion. So yeah, let's go over the computer. And you know what? You know what we should do for old time's sake? Let me fix this. For old time's sake, mail order Mrs. IS, that's funny. For old time's sake, let's hit him with the intro. I can't center it. I'm trying to center this. Okay, so we got it. We hit you with the intro. If you're new to my channel, please like, comment, subscribe, and we're going to jump into this. Okay, so first off, the silver. Hey, you guys, we got Sean in here saying he's Sean47. He's not a Russian bot. He's been a member for 19 months, which means he has access to special perks. So thank you, Sean, for being a member of the Crustacean Nation for 19 months. You, sir, mega. Okay, first, gold and silver. Who's watching gold and silver? We've had a pretty decent run in gold, and silver's moving a little bit, so we'll see what happens. But this just goes to show you, when there's instability, when there's problems in the world, people flock to what's going on. And you guys, what's going on in Russia right now? They literally are having bank runs. They are having bank runs as we speak in Russia because of the sanctions put in. The ruble's being horribly devalued, might lead to hyperinflation, at least inflation. But I guarantee you they're running to gold and silver. Gold and silver for me, I look at it as a way to preserve my wealth, get my wealth through to the other side of things, whether that's retirement or disaster, whatever, it's going to work the same. I do think there's huge opportunities with it. Normally, I don't consider it an investment, but I think with what we're seeing, there might be some unique opportunities. But it's what everyone runs to. Exhibit A, Russia. So I think we're going to continue to see these prices increase here over the next days to week, and we'll see what happens with everything going on. So some people are talking about NATO expansion and if it's their fault or not. Okay, that's fine. I'm not in it to get political with it and say it's whose fault or whatnot, but I'm going to give you some very unique insight on why Russia did what it did. If you want to hear my insight, press 1 and I'll give it to you now. So let's see what people say. Oh, we got Ethan C. I met Ethan C. He's a stacker and YouTuber. I met him in North Carolina. Yeah, bank run sounds like what you get when you bank eats too much Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. Okay. Okay. So here's the analysis. First, the thing you got to realize is I know you all remember when Russia did the land grab of Crimea back in 2014. Well, what you don't know is down here, you see these little areas here and here. Russia did a land grab of those, and I believe it was 2008 or 2004 of Georgia. And they did the same thing they did in Ukraine. They declared 2 places independent. They went in to back them out. They came in and like overthrew the leadership. Now, Crimea they took because really it controls the Black Sea. And there's a very strategic port here. And this is the one area of the Black Sea, or one of the areas of the Black Sea doesn't freeze over in the winter, okay? So that means they can have access year-round to put their ships out anywhere, okay? So that's why this is strategically important. Now, why does Russia want their main goal is to have Ukraine back in the empire. That's the main goal. But that's not really doable without, like, the way they did this, saying, hey, these 2 are independent, we're going to support them. Although it was hostile and broke international law, etc., it was a lot less hostile than just straight up saying we're declaring war, we're taking the whole country. So they're using the guise of supporting the 2 independent states and taking out evil regime to do what they did in 2014 and then 2008 or 2004, okay? But why do they want this? Why does Ukraine even matter to Russia? And yes, Russia does not want Ukraine to join NATO. What's the main reason they don't want them to join NATO? Well, if you look here, Russia, okay? Russia, and remember Kazakhstan used to be part of Russia. This in here is a wide plain area. It's plains. Very flat, very easy for tanks to get through, et cetera, et cetera. If you want me to keep going, please smash that like button. And if you see here on the terrain map, there's a very small corridor here in this area that enters into that plain that takes you basically into the heart of Russia. And also up near this area, I believe. Belarus is basically a puppet government of Russia right now, so they've got that area secured. But right now, Ukraine is not in NATO. And there's mountains here. I forget the name of these mountain ranges. It's a very famous civilization from the past. But right now, the NATO borders are basically on this mountain range, okay? So it would take them a while to get here, natural barrier, to work through Ukraine to get to Russia. If Ukraine became a member of NATO, all of a sudden the front lines are way up here already in the plains. So that means NATO could pre-position a bunch of resources, tanks, etc., to where if there was a war, they could immediately punch and go deep into the heart of Russia, including the capital up here, which is Moscow. Now, the one thing you got to think about Lithuania and Latvia, Russia's not too concerned with that because you have Belarus here, and Belarus could easily cut them off. And these are small countries with small standing armies, okay? So that could be easily cut off by Belarus, encircled and pushed in, okay? And then this is Russia, right? But this presents a direct threat to the security of Russia. So, in my professional opinion, the main reason Russia wants Ukraine, because if they join NATO or the EU, the borders are way up here into Russia, and they can it's not up here, I'm sorry, it's here. The borders are here, and it would make it very easy for an attack on Russian territory. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what I think the fact is. There's one more fact here. So when Russia took over the Crimea in 2014, and that was straight up took it over, guys. Like, oh, they want to be free referendum. Now they control it. Now it's Russia. Okay. Again, the same template they used in 2004 or 2008, I forget. The same one they used in 2014, same one they're using now. I mean, I guess if something works, why don't you stop it? So, anyways, there's a canal that goes from Ukraine down into Crimea. And it was running in the past, and this was a very rich area for farming, et cetera, et cetera. So Ukraine cut it off, and now the infrastructure here is jacked. Russia, in response, built a bridge over here, which cost a ton of money. So they got a major water problem in Crimea. So I think as a bonus of taking over Ukraine, they get control of that water. Now, if Russia does not keep all of Ukraine, which I think they most certainly could, if they do not keep Ukraine, they're going to hold on to these two breakaway provinces. And earlier, guys, I was saying this is the border. Sorry about that. It was over here. They're going to keep those breakaway provinces. And I think they'll also keep a bit more of up here so they can control that canal going into Crimea so they can keep that water. And also, too, there's some very strategic ports over here that I think they might try to grab. So that's a quick update on Ukraine. What's some effects on us we're going to feel? Well, first off, Russia is the #1 energy exporter to all of Europe. So although Russia needs the money to finance their war and other things, they could certainly cut off the energy supply to all of Europe and put them in a lot of danger now. And that's why places like Germany, who recently decommissioned a bunch of their nuclear power to rely on natural gas, is in big trouble. And this is why at first they didn't support restricting Russia from the SWIFT payment system. SWIFT is the way banks talk to each other and transfer money. So if you get taken off the SWIFT system, you can't give money, pay, buy things, sell things, etc. With the rest of the world. So they could easily cut energy, and they would be in big trouble. Now us, we're only buying 500,000 barrels a day, I think, off of them. So we could just drill locally within the United States and be okay. Like prices would go up like they're already going up, but we would be able to survive. But also Ukraine is a huge exporter of grain. So this could cause grain issues, especially in like North Africa, maybe Egypt area. Russia is a huge exporter of fertilizer, one of the main ones in the world. So fertilizer prices already gone up, which means your food prices are going to go up because you need fertilizer to grow food. So there's a lot of stuff. Now, why else do they want Ukraine? Besides control of the canal and really protecting the entrance to this narrow channel, the plains. And remember, these flat plains go right into the heart of Russia, and that is very conducive for tank warfare, mechanized warfare, covering a ton of miles very quickly, aka, remember, Blitzkrieg during World War II. So besides those two reasons, also, Ukraine has a huge natural gas deposit here. And guess what? When Russia took over Crimea, they gobbled up 80% of that because the international law of what you control in the water off your landmass. So they already took 80% of that, but there's huge natural gas reserves. There's a bunch of other metals, lesser metals that they have here. I forget what they are. It's not lithium. I forget. Iron is one. I don't know. They've got a bunch of different metals and resources in Ukraine. So Ukraine is very resource rich. And to this part, they've been they haven't had the resources to properly manage and extract those resources, okay? So they were really depending on United States companies. So the United States companies came in and they were going to invest in two projects, one here and the other one I think was here somewhere. Well, guess what? The Russian-supported insurgencies that have been going on in these two provinces for years, I think those started or kept going since 2014. But also an uprising kind of happened here. And because of those, the United States companies pulled out because obviously too risky. I mean, AKA hashtag look at today. So that left for Ukraine with a ton of resources, but they're unable to really pull it out. Rumor has it, and it might have already started, but rumor has it is that at 5 p.m., either Belarus time or uh, Ukraine time, is that Belarus is going to send in troops for this northern area. And if they did that, that would be a really big blow to the people, because all these people are all like pretty culturally related and very close to each other in languages and customs. So that would be a really big affront for Belarus to attack Ukraine. And by the way, guys, this used to be this Ukrainian capital of Kyiv is still standing. It used to be Kiev, Kiev, Kiev. But in 2018, they changed it to Kyiv, Kyiv, because Kiev was the Russian pronunciation. Kyiv is the Ukrainian, and they wanted to do that to really push their own sovereignty. So that's where that came from. All right, so I just spouted off so much stuff going on. First off, I want to know, did I help any of you understand this better? Hit 9 if you understand it better. Hit 2 if you knew that stuff anyway, but it was interesting to rehash. And then I'm going to read some questions and answer them before I get into the next update. Oh, I just took a drink of water. Okay, so we're getting a bunch of 9s. Okay, that's what I like to see. 9. Oh, 9s. Mrs. IS? Mrs. IS. All right, some people knew some people didn't. Some people said sort of both. So I'm glad I hit you guys with that information. Please ask any question you might have before I go to the next topic. And I'm pretty informed with this type of stuff. Geopolitical issues, military action, stuff like that. So let me know if you have any. And yes, I have been to Turkey. I've been to Turkey. I've been to Saudi Arabia. I've been to UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Lebanon, Jordan, Israel, Egypt, Turkey. And you guys, I live streamed from Egypt. And I've been over here. I was supposed to be in Poland. You guys, Germania Mint, please hold up, Poland. I need to visit you. But the closest I've been here is the Czech Republic, Prague, or there they say Praha. So this is the closest to Russia I've physically been. That's only a short drive, guys. It's not that far when you're talking Europe. Would a cyber attack lower or raise metal prices? Raise, because people would be afraid that banks are going to get attacked and their money depleted, drained away, hacked. So in my opinion, people would pull cash out. It probably might cause a bank run depending on what happens, and people to put it into other things. You forgot that Russia has a falling birth rate. Yeah, Matt, it definitely does. I mean, there's so many more micro reasons, and falling birth rate is not really micro, maybe more medium. But I wanted to hit to you guys the big main reasons why I think it's going on. Sure, there's a bunch of ancillary reasons. I was wondering about the name. Yep, it's Kyiv now, not Kiev, Kyiv. Maybe Mrs. Iris is Ukrainian. Maybe I need to go there and see, guys. Maybe she is. Has any biochemical labs been destroyed? And what about trafficking or harvesting bodies? Human trafficking is a huge problem in Eastern Bloc countries. It was already going on before, so I'm sure it's continuing. There are biochemical labs in here. There's United States supported labs. In terms of their impact, haven't heard anything about that. The international community is really concerned with Chernobyl. Chernobyl's up here somewhere. But if you remember, that was the place of the nuclear accident. And it's still, here it is. So if that got blown up or whatever, it could put radioactive materials in the air. And then also someone, too, could go harvest those materials and put it in something like a dirty BOMB. I got to be careful with talking. I'm going to get this censored. Things like that could happen. Do you think they can fight off the Russians with all the weapons that are being sent? It's possible, Anthony. It's possible. It's possible. It's going to be a long, drawn-out war of attrition. But if Belarus comes in today, that's going to change the game a little bit. We might see some other countries get involved. You guys, this does have the potential to become World War III. It does. It's unlikely at this time, but people thought that Putin would have invaded because it was too risky, and look where we're at now. So this could be a possible catalyst to a World War III scenario. Okay, you just need to know that it's possible. Um, Putin did say he has his finger on the nuclear button. I mean, that kind of rhetoric is dangerous. Why are the Ukrainian people who the Ukrainian army were bombing are only called insurgents? Not wait. Why are the Ukrainian people who the Ukrainian army were bombing only called insurgents, not citizens? I'm not sure. Lords of Wildwood, I think you're talking about the breakaway regions here. That was an insurgency against Ukraine. These regions trying to break free. So that was them fighting and quelling an insurgency. So if you're a Ukrainian, those people would be traitors, right? I'm not saying one side's right or the other. I'm just saying from their perspective, that's why they wouldn't be called citizens. Possibility of nuclear. Rock, very small possibility of a wide-scale nuclear use, because Putin knows that would drag in the entire world. It would be immediate hit. It would be, yeah, that's like a that's like a last case scenario. So I don't think it's likely. I think what's more likely is trying to hack infrastructure of different countries, power grids, etc. I still want you to take me with you to Poland. I'm going, Sean, to Poland eventually. International Stakusi. That's funny. 600 silver around the corner. It's freaking to the sky. Let's go. To the moon. For a sec there, I thought the title reads, I'm in Kentucky, Russia. That's funny. Maybe Russia has Kentucky. And guys, I don't know if you saw the thumbnail, but I did order Kentucky Fried Chicken earlier. I had to try it. You hear 8 biolabs were destroyed, says Lady Bluegrass. It's possible, but there's a bunch of propaganda on the net right now. Half the stuff we're seeing is probably not even true. I'm making a run to the big. So you guys, a few things you can do to be prepared. One, always keep your car full of gas because the gas price is probably going to go through the roof. Always keep it above 3/4. Two, make sure you always have some physical cash at home, to where if something happened with the banking system or a hack that you have cash. And three, you always want to make sure you have emergency food and water, regardless of the disaster. I at least have 72 hours, okay? But I recommend at least a month, okay, of food and water, so you're not a statistic on the roof, waiting for FEMA to come save you. You can be self-sufficient until help gets to you. Go to preparewithis.com, shameless plug. My Patriot Supply Foods, good for 25 years, freeze-dried, put it in a closet, forget about it. There's a sale going on for the next 9 hours. This is 3 months of food for $7.47 or 1 month of food for $2.47. Put it in a closet, forget about it, don't be a statistic. So go check that out. You won't be sad. And I buy my own stuff too. It's awesome stuff. I just bought myself a bar. Wasn't sure if I should get it, but all I got was my first 1 ounce bar. Then go from there. That's cool, Beto. You got it, my friend. Just stack it to the sky, one at a time. No, we're not changing DEFCON yet. If it changed to DEFCON 2, that's a significant thing. Why do people from Ukraine act like Ohio St. Grads, the Ukraine? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Russia raised its nuclear alert and metals spiked. Yep. I just bought myself. Oh, I read that. Is Putin going crazy? People saying change? No. Putin wants to restore the greatness of the Russian Empire in his eyes. And remember, I covered in the very beginning of this video, in Georgia in 2000, he was either 4 or 8, he did the same thing, declared 2 areas independent, and went in and supported and jacked up the government. In 2014, he seized Crimea, and now he's doing it again. So this is a very clear history that he's following. And by the way, in Belarus, had an election, I believe it was 2020, and the guy that's in there now, it was very widely said that he was voted out, but he refused to leave, and he smashed any protests with the help of Russia. Okay, so Belarus is pretty much a puppet state of Russia. And again, they might attack, the rumor is, Ukraine from the north at 5 a.m., I think their time. So we'll see if that actually happens. Yeah, Ron Frey has a good point. Bullion is technically taxable. So if you go somewhere and sell 10,000 or more of bullion, they're going to report it to the IRS and you're going to get taxed. So either, yeah, but if it's actual minted coins, they're not taxable. It makes sense when you map it out. I agree, says Rob. That's awesome. It's pretty easy to tell they're over the target. Okay. Well, everyone started banning any speak of. Yeah, no, I've heard it a few times. I don't store water because I live in a rainforest. Well, that works, Mr. E. So you should have a rain catchment system so you at least have some. Yeah, I can give a beer flu update. If you guys want me to give a flu update, press 7. My transmission died in October. I've been without a vehicle since. With the money and saving and gas, I can almost afford groceries. That's crazy, Sean. If Trump was still in office, Russia wouldn't be any kind of threat to the states. I will tell you this: like Trump or hate him, whichever side of the camp you're on, he's the only president in the 20th century that Russia hasn't done a land grab while he was in office. So, I mean, I'm not saying for or against. I keep this channel apolitical, but I mean that's an interesting fact. Okay, so you guys want an update? So let me just point this down for a second. And let me bring up COVID stats. I'm going to bring up some stats and show you guys what is going on with the beer flu. And it is good news, good news, good news. So although we got bad news in Russia and the Ukraine, it is good news for beer flu. So you can see here the cases have just taken a nosedive. Can I change this? I can't zoom in there. Can I zoom in? Here we go. The cases have taken an absolute nosedive, which is what we thought, and this is what we predicted. So back here in December was when Omicron started to take hold, and you can see here how quickly the spike happened. You're talking, the increase really started like December, 20th or something? And by January 10th, it had already peaked, okay? So that is an extremely short time. So just as we predicted, Omicron spread quicker, much quicker than any other variant we've had in the past. And this has gotten us to what I believe is we're at or very close to actual herd immunity. Thank you, Omicron, blessing in disguise. And you can see here this huge spike and down. So I would expect soon for these a lot of the mandates and things to start being rolled back in many states, and many states they have. I'm expecting on the State of the Union address that President Biden's doing on Tuesday. I believe that's the second. Or was it the first? First or second? No, I think the State of the Union is on the first. I expect some sort of additional rollback. And as you all saw on Friday, CDC changed the metrics with how they determine community spread. And when they changed that, let's see here, community spread, is it here? By changing that, it reduced the amount of places that need to mask. And they still got the old one here. That's funny. So what does that mean? A bunch of places aren't even technically required to mask anymore per CDC guidance. But, I mean, are people even really masking anymore? A lot aren't, okay? Even if it's required. But we're seeing a rollback from the CDC. We're seeing the numbers plummet. And I'm expecting big announcements soon in terms of rollbacks. We got Speggy. I heard herd immunity because we got the virus, not because of the vaccine. Thank you, God, for giving us our immune system. You're right, Speg. Omicron was a blessing in disguise. It had so much virality. The R naught was so high. It spread so quickly, but the impact of it was so low that it infected a ton of people. It's going to continue to affect people, and that is our way out of this pandemic. And now as we transition from the pandemic to the endemic, what does that mean? It means beer flu is always going to be around, guys. Pretty much a lot of other sicknesses, colds and flus are caused by other coronaviruses. When we have our flu season every year, I think we're gonna see a beer flu season at least for the next few years, if not permanently. But so many people are gonna have immunity built in that it's not gonna have the main threat of overrunning hospitals, etc. And I don't see anything out competing Omicron variant. It would be very hard for something to outcompete that because it's so high in terms of being able to spread quickly. So knock on wood, I think we're gonna be good there. And hey, what's going on in the Ukraine and Russia gives people something else to focus on, and also gives politicians cover, in my opinion, to be able to pivot. Vitamin D worked for me. I took vitamin D every day since this thing started. If he's compromised, it's hard to say what he would do. Fully trust the immune system. Your immune system is a wonderful thing. I was super sick over Christmas. Okay, so I gave you guys my update of me being in Kentucky. I gave you an update on Ukraine, and the reasons why I think is happening, what's going to happen. I gave a shameless plug for preparewithis.com. Go there, get freeze dried food, put in your closet, forget about it, good for 25 years. Don't be a statistic. Prepare for you and your family. And we went over the silver and gold spot price, and I think we're going to continue to see this rise unless it gets manipulated and smashed it down. So that's opinion on all my stuff. And one of the probably most interesting things I shared with you all, because I'm sure everyone was confused. Why are they calling Kiev? Well, because in 2018 they changed the spelling from Kiev, Kiev, which was the Russian name and pronunciation, to Kyiv, which is more Ukrainian dialect, which is Kiev. And they did that to say, hey, we're not Russia, we're alone, unlike Belarus, which continues to be a puppet state of Russia. I met this girl last month, and she said, I need some vitamin D. Was she worried about the beer flu? Possibly, Speggy. Ethan, Mrs. IS needs IS. Oh my gosh, okay, this is going downhill. This is going downhill quickly. Putin does not want Ukraine to be with NATO. Of course, Gibby. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a 60-second synopsis of why. 1, into Russia here, these are plains, and it's a very narrow entrance, and then basically all of Russia basically becomes plains, okay? There's 2 entrances, one up here somewhere, which is protected by Belarus. The other one that's left is Ukraine, okay? So if Ukraine was to join NATO, currently the NATO border would be back here, which is along these mountains. I forget the name of the mountains, but there's natural barriers. It would take time to get into Ukraine and push forward if Ukraine was either controlled by Russia or was neutral. If they join NATO, basically NATO forces could be in here and quickly run across the plain, covering hundreds of miles, probably a day. I mean, it's harder with armor, but still, they'd be flying. So that's a very big threat to Russia. Secondly, when Russia took over Crimea, Ukraine cut off the canal, sending water to Crimea. It's been a humongous issue. They've been spending literally millions to try to fix that. So I think they're doing a land grab. If they don't keep all of Ukraine, which they might, and occupy it for a long time, if they don't, I think they do a land grab here, so they have the water supply. Obviously, they do the land grab over here it's over here of the 2 outbreak areas. Or is it over here? It is over here. I was right the first time. Or pull the 2 breakaway. Earlier I was doing it and I got confused. I was like, oh, the border's here. No, the border's here. But the interesting thing is if you see the border, it's almost the exact same shape as that waterway, which is what tricked me. So at the very least, they do those, and I think they secure the water at the very least. At the most, they occupy or keep or install a puppet government, then leave forces for a while, then pull back, and establish a puppet government like they have in Belarus. Ukraine is a distraction. Putin is actually sending his military to Antarctica to journey to the center of the earth. That's funny, Spuggy. Ukraine can't join NATO because of Russia problems. That's in World War III. I mean, Edmundo, they certainly could if they would take them. And I mean, we're pretty much there anyway, right? But you know what the funny thing is? Ukraine had nukes. Ukraine got convinced to get rid of the nuclear bombs. I bet you they wish they had them now. I'm not saying they would use them, but it's a deterrent. Countries are very careful about messing with countries with nuclear power because of mutually assured destruction. World Bank coming to Russia. They hate them, blah, blah, blah. It's like America don't even matter, huh? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Ron. Isn't that river that borders Russia the longest river in the world? I mean, it could be, but I thought the Nile. I don't know. I thought the Nile was one of the longest. Someone fact check that. Where's the longest river in the world? That could be correct, actually. When the nukes start flying, I'm going outside to watch the fireworks. Yeah, Chernobyl is up here in the north near Belarus. And there has been an increase in radiation readings, FYI. Here it is, look. Look at that. Wait. Yeah. There it is there. This is a huge dome they built over, and I watched the making of that. It was really interesting. So go watch that sometime. But that was a major project just to build that. But there's been shelling and fighting and combat in the area of Chernobyl, which has kicked up radioactive dust and caused some concern. Surface of the world over sunny, it's non-carbonated, therefore the Earth is technically flat. Okay. NATO is bad guys. Me too. Do videos on YouTube and the next. I mean, nobody's paying attention to America. It's all about. Well, yeah. I mean, look what's going on right now. This is the biggest military action probably in terms of an invasion in that area since World War II. Only thing I'd be close to would be when we probably did Desert Storm in 2004. According to the world list, the Nile is the longest. Okay. Thanks, Nate, for fact checking that. Mutant soldiers could be. Oh, Nile is second longest. It's Amazon. You know, that could be right. It could be Amazon. I don't know. We may need fact checkers for Sean's comment. That's funny. Distraction, the river, Amazon. All right, guys. Well, I gave you my updates, and I try my best to stay apolitical for you all. You get enough of the crazy politics every time you turn on TV. So I just try to give you my honest opinion without any kind of slant on it. I try my best. Question: will this stop season 4 of Stranger Things from releasing? Possibly it could. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining. Please smash like on the video if you like these videos. Please subscribe if you don't. I literally travel the world finding gold and silver, okay? And you guys, go here to my channel and look through some of my videos. I have videos all over Egypt, Turkey, Ireland, all over the world, buying gold and silver. And if you go to my oldest videos, I have some epic, crazy epic unboxing videos and like 97 views, 46 views. So go check out these videos. They're all a blast. There's a lot of cool stuff. Look at here. I have a video of inside the Notre Dame, the gold inside the Notre Dame that all burnt away. I have a video in there before it burnt. So I got a lot of cool stuff, so please go check it out, including my full stack videos, and I promise you're going to like it. Well, I need to drink some water, go to sleep, because I got to get up for work early in the morning, and I guess I'll say, catch you on the next one. Woo! And, as you guys all log off, I think what I'm going to do, while you guys all log off, I'm just going to let this one play a little bit. What's up, guys? International Stacker here. Just thought I'd show you guys a few of the sights in France. I'm here for the day, and I'm going to go try to find me some French silver and see how it goes. Here's the back of it, guys. Wow, a lot more detail on the side than I noticed, at least. And I'm going to be heading down this road here on my way to the Louvre and Notre Dame. Let's go. Alright, guys, too far of a walk, so we're getting in the Ferrari. Alright, guys, here it is. Notre Dame. This all burnt, guys. This all got destroyed. This all got destroyed.
Shut up in the last
Here's the loop, guys. We're gonna go ahead and try to see the Mona Lisa and then get back to the hotel. It is ungodly hot. Well, not for Saudi Arabia terms, but I wasn't expecting. It's like 90 degrees. I'm burning. So if any of you have watched The Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Maloney, you'll know that the origins of money came from ancient Egypt. It is, guys. We went through Egypt. They started having gold and silver. Those are gold and silver coins, guys. Look at those. Now we're in Greece where they started making coins. Gold, and I believe those ones are silver. Here are the Romans, guys. So Greece, I believe, became just a satellite of Rome. Lose the Byzantines. Could be wrong. Awkward. Almost awkward. There's little girls here. And then, bam! Right in your face. Guys, I just found proof of time travel right here in the Louvre. Look. It's taking a selfie. I don't know, guys. It's all Greek to me. See you later, Lou. Yeah, I spy with my little eye something. All right, guys. Thank you. Enjoy. Enjoy your journey on gold and silver. Prague, otherwise known as Praha. Praha. Should I go into that casino and try to get some gold and silver? We'll see. I forgot how good this video was. Look, I'm getting beer on a train. I forgot how good this video was. Oh man. That's some Saudi Arabian felonies right there. Catch you on the next one.